y'all, so I'm up here, man, with my homeboy, and what's your name, bro?
Jeremy.
Jeremy and Bobby, man. Nice to meet you, bro. All right, so check it out, Jeremy and what's your name?
Cody.
And Cody. Look at what they drive.
This is the guy right here.
Okay, this man. What's your name, bro?
David.
David don't make you famous. I'm Bobby, man. So anyway, these are my new homeboys. They get white privilege. They ride around with a goddamn fully. Look at this, man. They got a fully fucking automatic machine.
Minigun.
We call them a minigun. But
Yeah, they got the M60 right over there.
I got a mind you. If it was me and my homeboys, we would be under prison. You know what I mean? Wow. Even the white people are in prison. Wow. Look on the inside of this. Look at they ride, man. Look on the inside of these cats ride. Hey, bro, I'm impressed, man. I salute you, bro. This is crazy. I'm up here at my cabin, man. I came up here to the corner store, and this is what's going on. Wow. Here with me.
What? I live in Texas. I was just in Eagle Pass, and I've got some videos I need to show you guys. Because you're watching the news, whether it's CNN or Fox, you're letting these news media idiots get you riled up against each other. Let me show you some videos that might just calm your ass down and make you turn off the TV. So this is the wall, you know, the fence that we put up. And they put up a secondary fence because they opened the gate. Serious weaponry, you know, pretty intimidating, right? Here's your razor wire in between the two bridges that are in the entrances into Mexico, and also the entrance to Eagle Pass. There's some Hummers, some more guys, right? We're protecting, you know, we're keeping them out. This is 0.5 miles from that area. 0.5 miles from where they set up their cameras. 0.5 miles from where they have all the people there. And it's right down the road. I left this long to show you just how short of a drive it is for us to get to a point where all that we just saw does not matter. And they're just getting you riled up against each other because it's election time. And right about here is where you're going to see it. What's that? Where are the armed guards? Where are the AR-15s? Where is the razor wire? Where's the gates? That's half a mile from where the media is blowing up that Texas versus the feds, that we're having this big battle. So that was one gate. That was the very first gate that I saw. We drove down a little bit more. There's one. It had a chain on it. So you keep driving down the road. You got Trump's wall doing its job. This one has never even had a gate. So to me, it doesn't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, liberal, libertarian. It doesn't matter what you are. And you're posting about this Texas versus the feds and we could have a civil war. I'm telling you right now, if a civil war breaks out, it's not because there's something good to fight over. It's because it's election time. It is because the news media is corrupt, and you need to turn the TV off. I don't care what news media you watch. Just go down there and look yourself. Go look. The things that they are saying that the feds and Texas are fighting about is a stretch that is not even a mile. How long is the border? They can just walk right over, and those gates keep going and going and going and going. I know you're thinking, well, just 2 gates. No, they're all open all the gates. It's a whole hoopla over this little bitty section in Eagle Pass in between a bridge and a bridge. Only place that there's guards. So if you can't get in half a mile of our border, you just walk down the road and you go across the border there. All you folks posting about this, you picked a side and you think you're doing the right thing. But all of you need to reevaluate the country you live in, and the information that's being given to you.
Pretty incredible news coming out in the past 24 hours as civil war warnings, they grow over the Texas border standoff. This just coming out this morning. And here is a map of the 25 states that stand alongside of Texas in defiance against Joe Biden and his administration and the federal government. Hold the line. Republicans rally to Abbott's defense in border standoff with Biden. From the Texas House to the former President Donald Trump, Republicans around the country defend Governor Greg Abbott's challenges to the Biden administration's border policies. Texas defies Joe Biden by recruiting volunteers more to bolster their border fight at this time, and Texas governor doing exactly the right thing. Amid constitutional battle over the border enforcement, legal experts say that Texas has the right to keep building razor wire fence to defend our nation from illegal immigrants and potential threats trying to enter our nation. This coming after the Biden administration had demanded Texas to immediately stop blocking the federal Border Patrol access. Texas responding that the federal Border Patrol and the Biden administration not doing their job of keeping the nation safe, so they would take matters into their own hands. President Joe Biden demanding that they stop now or else. Texas responding, or else what? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Who do you stand with in this scenario? Texas and 25 other states saying that we need to defend our country and Texas is in the right? Or the Biden administration saying that let the federal government do their job? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.
Don't you fall for the bullshit. What do you mean swipe over, don't fall for the bullshit? Don't fall for the bullshit, y'all. First things first, now everybody wants to team up and work together against these so-called terrorists who are trying to come invade our...
They let them through. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. America! America! It's dead!
Let's take a look at how the trucker convoy is going with their Take Back the Border campaign.
It remains on you and your sin. And the only way to escape it is to come to Jesus Christ.
And I walked up to him and said, "Hey, fella, your old courthouse is mighty run down."
Someone called me and said, "Hey, can you do a convoy from Virginia to Texas? And can you host some events? And we need a Texas guy." Oh, well, I don't know, maybe.
Verizon, it's bouncing back and forth from international. To avoid any of the extra charges, if you'll turn off the roaming.
You can't escape the wrath of God. The wrath of God remains on you.
he said, honey, I think you need to have a seat. So I sat down.
No free speech, no guns, no offensive Christians? What kind of conservatives are you? Oh, you're from California! You're not even a Texan!
San Diego.
Like America doesn't believe in that Constitution!
Watch what? Hey!
Hey!
Peaceful protest. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Pedestrians have the right of way. Peaceful protest, huh? You're a violent thug. You're a violent thug. That's all you are. I got Jesse, watch out. This guy's trying to. Hey! Hey!
You can't touch me!
Hey!
You're on camera. You want to go to jail? You want to go to jail? Don't touch us! We will not be touched!
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and highest honors to Yahweh, which is the name of the Heavenly Father in Paleo-Ancient Hebrew, and to Yahweh Shai, the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, his name in Paleo-Ancient Hebrew. Double honors to the apostle elders, bishops, and brothers of Great Millstone, and all the brothers that's putting this work in truth and sincerity around the four corners of the globe. Alright. So Brother Ariaga from the Grand Rapids, Michigan camp here with another nifty lesson as we continue to put our lives on the line to bring you this raw and this uncut truth. So recently, if you haven't been watching or keeping track of what's going on, because I know a lot of people don't like to keep up with the news. They say it's depressing. But nonetheless, the truth is the truth. You know, you can't always have peaches and cream. The truth is bitter for a reason. And sometimes it's not so sweet. But what you have recently is going on is the revving up of not only World War III, which I believe we are already engaged in. My old unit, when I was in the military, 101st Airborne, they have been shipped out to Israel, to the Middle East, to help with that whole situation in Gaza. And numerous other, airborne divisions and what have you, have been sent out there, special forces, to aid in that, as they would call it, shit show. Okay? So what you see now is this whole border invasion is starting to make sense. It's all starting to add up now because it serves its purpose. What does it say? Not just problem, reaction, solution, but auto add chaos, which is order out of chaos, is one of the main things that's being pushed right before our eyes. And as they continue to let this large influx of immigrants in, which we believe a lot of them are sleeper cells for the NATO EU union. But one of the things that has been undeniable is the effect that it's had on the economy. Not just the war in Gaza or Ukraine, but what's been happening because of this influx. And you have a lot of people that are at odd ends with this system. One in particular being Governor Abbott of Texas. And you see the whole separation between him and Biden, or at least allegedly, that we can tell. Is it true? Is it real? I don't know. But one of the famous sayings and quotes was, war is a theater. This is a theater. The whole world is a theater. So people are watching. And whether this is literal or not, we're about to expose that. Because at the end of the day, like George Carlin said, there's one big club, and you're not in it. Me and you aren't in it because it's for the elites. And the individuals that you vote in the office and the elites that you never even heard of and seen that have ancient money, these are the ones that's calling the real shots. And so for this whole Civil War situation, and the influx and these migrants coming across the border and what have you, a lot of people aren't hip and savvy to what's going on. They just think, we're going to link up, we're going to fight for our rights, go Texas, Well, one of the things that I read in Behold a Pale Horse, this was like back in 2004, when I was in the military, one of the things that was pushed out there was, basically they would send the National Guard or the borders. The military would be at the borders, from the northern border to the eastern border and to the western border and to the southern border, right? Before the system crash comes. And them calling this a civil war and using this influx of migrants to come in serves multiple purposes. And one of those purposes definitely being to use this as a chance to bring in these draconian laws, making it illegal for people to defend themselves or stand up for their rights. Now, for one thing, we serve, us men of the Lord, we're waiting on the Lord. We're not going out here linking up with this bullshit, trying to, all right, we got to get our guns and all that. No. The Civil War is coming. Yet, the way it's playing out is not necessarily just the people versus the government. One of the things that you see is that you have Republicans versus Democrats. The people are fighting against the people. They're fighting against each other, right? And as the people are going against each other and the government, what do they call it? Divide and conquer. And you see a lot of dividing of the people, and it's leaving way for the government to bring in all these influx of sleeper cells. So when everything is said and done and it's activated, it's chaos. It's turmoil from within. People don't even realize who the enemy is and who is this and who to trust, and just bringing all of those different, devices to the table is all a part of their plan. And it's sowing these seeds of deceit amongst each other on who to trust, who to believe in, and who to follow, and what news to believe in, and what have you. All of that stuff is confusing the vast majority of people, and it's making them look at each other like the enemy. So it's already happening, and everybody is all cool and everybody's friends and happy-go-lucky when you're able to eat whenever you choose, as long as you have a couple dollars in your pocket, or you can make it to a pantry. But when you take these liberties away, everybody will begin to show their true colors, and then it's going to become survival of the fittest. So this is the stage that we're moving into. But right now they're using it on the basis of this border crisis, which is justifying them bringing the large troop movements to the border. And once again, they're not there to keep people out. Their role will be to keep people from escaping this place when all this hell starts to break loose. All right, so let's look at a couple of these. Let's get to these scriptures.
Pretty incredible news coming out in the past 24 hours as civil war warnings, they grow over the Texas border standoff. This just coming out this morning. And here is a map of the 25 states that stand alongside of Texas in defiance against Joe Biden and his administration and the federal government. Hold the line. Republicans rally to Abbott's defense in border standoff with Biden. From the Texas House to the former President Donald Trump, Republicans around the country defend Governor Greg Abbott's challenges to the Biden administration's border policies. Texas defies Joe Biden by recruiting volunteers more to bolster their border fight at this time, and Texas governor doing exactly the right thing. Amid constitutional battle over the border enforcement, legal experts say that Texas has the right to keep building razor wire fence to defend our nation from illegal immigrants and potential threats trying to enter our nation. This coming after the Biden administration had demanded Texas to immediately stop blocking the federal border patrol access. Texas responding that the federal border patrol and the Biden administration not doing their job of keeping the nation safe, so they would take matters into their own hands. President Joe Biden demanding that they stop now or else. Texas responding, or else what? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.
Right, and the reason why we know, a lot of this stuff is hearsay because they can easily just pop him in his head, have him assassinated or taken in. Oh, no, they won't because all the people are behind them. Once again, this is part of those devices. And everybody's falling right into this government's hands when it comes to establishing a system that gives them the highest rate of success when it comes to implementing the New World Order, right? Oh, well, we got to do something about this border crisis. We got to, right? But the thing about the border crisis is the way they have everything set up, people are willing to give their rights away just to be able to have this issue handled. They're willing to give their rights over to whether it be Governor Abbott or to Biden, or they screaming Trump, just for them to solve this issue. And whoever they give their allegiance to at the end, when it all comes down to it, are you going to be able to stand with them when things get bloody? Because it will get bloody before this is all over, based on the fact that they want to bring this absolute rule whether you like it or not. All right, so check this out as well, right? Now that the people are getting mobilized and then the military is getting mobilized, what it's doing is causing an even further rift. And with this rift being brought between the people and the government, because the people are waking up to the bullshit that the government has been on. But now, as the people mobilize, what that's also doing is giving them a reason to bring more troops, because situations like this, let's just go ahead and play it.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott refusing to give up control of the Texas border to federal officials, saying the state will not give federal agents full access to Shelby Park today. That ignores a deadline set by the Biden administration, which is today. Instead, Abbott is installing more razor wire following a Supreme Court order allowing federal agents to start removing it. Texas now receiving support from 25 Republican governors, all backing Governor Abbott's border actions, blaming the Biden administration for the crisis. Former President Trump wants to take it one step further. He's now encouraging these states to deploy their National Guard troops to Texas to prevent illegal crossings. Trump's vowing that if he becomes president again, he's going to work with Abbott to seal the border, writing, quote, Biden says those should not get comfortable because they will be going home. I want to bring in Texas Congressman Lieutenant Colonel Keith Self. Congressman, good morning. Governor Christiano already saying, yes, I would send National Guard troops.
So look at all of these trucks. 7,000 trucks will be participating in the border convoy. Now, if this is really happening, and this actually accomplishes, what they set out to do, that's going to give the reason for the conflict to kick up, because you have a lot of these individuals. I was looking at a video and they were talking about how a lot of those truck drivers are militias, are part of, like, here they got like the Michigan militia and what have you. And they have their rifles and their Kevlars and their armor. So this is really ramping up, right? Matthew 12:25, and Yahushua knew the thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And what did they do? They, you know, when you see, the government lockdown is imminent, and you'll have, well, the house is divided right now. Well, the house divided, it was already set up not to be able to stand. And this is what you see now. This country is divided more than ever. How can it stand? How can it be made great again? You know, Trump said he's going to work with Abbott if he gets back in. This is like the ultimate campaign run for Trump, because from all the publicity that he's getting from the whole bullshit court case, he doesn't even have to have any campaign funds put up or anything like that. He's getting all this free publicity. And a majority of the people are already, you even have immigrants that are crossing the border coming over here saying that they would rather have Trump in. So what you're seeing now is the right wing versus the left wing. And I don't vote, so I don't give a shit about either one. All right? We do not vote because we are waiting on the Lord. We don't get caught up in these politics and putting kings over us. We just go along with the process in this country and live peaceably if at all possible, like the scripture said. But casting our votes saying like it's going to make a difference doesn't matter, because we know that all of that is bullshit. They'll put in there whoever they want to, and when they put them in there, it'll be just that. It'll be, hey, it is what it is, right? And all you can do is just go with the flow, or you're going to have a lot of people that are going to try to stand up against the military. And, you know, either way, a bloodbath will ensue. Look at that. Where are the women and the children? That's real. Look at that. No women, no children, all military age men. All military age males. Okay? Now this dude put out a good video. I have to play this. Right? Because it was straight to the point. And he made some really good points. Alright? This is why you have to, as I say, question your government. And most of these videos I will put up in post-production. Some of them might be a little too long. But nonetheless, let's get it.
I live in Texas. I was just in Eagle Pass, and I've got some videos I need to show you guys. Because you're watching the news, whether it's CNN or Fox, you're letting these news media idiots get you riled up against each other. Let me show you some videos that might just calm your ass down and make you turn off the TV.
So this is the wall, you know, the fence that we put up. And they put up a secondary fence because they opened the gate. Serious weaponry, you know, pretty intimidating, right? Here's your razor wire in between the two bridges that are in the entrances into Mexico, and also the entrance to Eagle Pass. There's some Hummers, some more guys, right? We're protecting, you know, we're keeping them out. This is 0.5 miles from that area. 0.5 miles from where they set up their cameras. 0.5 miles from where they have all the people there. And it's right down the road. I left this long to show.
All right. You know, and that's one thing he's showing you. all the media is down there with all the military equipment, and you know, like it's just this one entrance at Eagle Park or wherever it's called. Well, it's really, that's not the only opening to this portion of the border. That was a joke in itself. And they're going 0.5 miles down the road to show you what's really going on.
Show you just how short of a drive it is for us to get to a point where all that we just saw does not matter, and they're just getting you riled up against each other because it's election time. And right about here is where you're going to see it. What's that? Where are the armed guards? Where are the AR-15s? Where is the razor wire? Where's the gates? That's half a mile from where the media is blowing up that Texas versus the feds, that we're having this big battle. So that was one gate. That was the very first gate that I saw. We drove down a little bit more. There's one that had a chain on it. So you keep driving down the road. You got Trump's wall doing its job. This one has never even had a gate. So to me, doesn't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, liberal, libertarian, it doesn't matter what you are, and you're posting about this Texas versus the feds and we could have a civil war. I'm telling you right now, if a civil war breaks out, it's not because there's something good to fight over. It's because it's election time. It is because the news media is corrupt, and you need to turn the TV off. I don't care what news media you watch. Just go down there and look yourself. Go look. The things that they are saying that the feds and Texas are fighting about is a stretch that is not even a mile. How long is the border? They can just walk right over, and those gates keep going and going and going and going. I know you're thinking, well, just 2 gates. No, they're all open, all the gates. It's a whole hoopla over this little bitty section in Eagle Pass in between a bridge and a bridge. Only place that there's guards. So if you can't get in half a mile of our border, you just walk down the road and you go across the border there. All you folks posting about this, you picked a side and you think you're doing the right thing. But all of you need to reevaluate the country you live in.
Right, because like you brought out, while you voting and you choosing sides, and oh man, I'm for the Republican, I'm for the Democrats, I'm for Texas, I'm for these other states, and you caught up in the game. That's all part of that, auto-ad chaos, man. This is Isaiah 19:2. All right, because this is present day. Well, let's go down to Revelation first. Let's clarify something. All right, Revelation 11:8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. America is the great city of all of this conflicts and whoredoms of the world. All right, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And that's them taking that image of Cesare Borgia and setting it up like it's or Jesus, and they set it up like that's the Lord, like that's how he really looks. And this is the place they started that, or they perpetuated that and pushed it from here, taking the Roman customs of the Roman Empire and perpetuating it. This is a mixture of Egypt, Rome, Sodom, Gomorrah, Greece, all rolled up into one. Once you got Memphis, Tennessee, right? Memphis, Egypt, right? But anyway, this is Isaiah 19:2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Let's just replace Americans against the Americans. All right. He said, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, or the Americans against the Americans, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. This is a prophecy that's not come to pass yet, right? Even though it's in the Old Testament, there's many prophecies in the Old Testament that have not come to pass yet, that link up with what you read in Revelation. And who do you think that the prophets are in the Lord and the apostles and disciples were referring to? They were going back to the Old Testament, man, and basically reciting the things that it said. It says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. You got cats running I got a palm reader shop that's like up the street from my house. You know what I'm saying? You got psychics, people calling psychics, and doing all kind of forms of witchcraft. One of those witchcrafts and wizards, you run into these pharmacists, man. I'm depressed and I'm sad. I need some pills and shit. And that's what they pump them full of, to keep them all distracted from what's really happening. All right? You got cats praying, holding on to their cross and praying to Jesus Christ like that's really his name, which is just an idol, because if it's not him, then who is it? It's an idol that was set up. Cesare Borgia. All right? Do your research. Serapis Christus. But nonetheless, you got a lot of people running to something to help them keep their sanity as things unfold rapidly right before their eyes, and they don't know what to do, man. It says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hands of a cruel Lord. Whoever gets, look, if Trump get back in there, whoever that, or Biden doesn't leave out, or Kamala Harris, whoever, when they start this, when all of this hell really pops off, whoever is the head of the reins is going to start executing a lot of people. All right, you're going to see the true colors of Trump or whoever may take that presidency. They're going to order a lot of people to be destroyed, especially if all these people are driving down there in these truck convoys to help secure the border. They're going to give them the order to fire on them. It says, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith Yahweh, Yahweh of hosts. All right? So what you have right now is the Most High, not just setting everything up overseas in the Middle East. All eyes is also right here. All right, but a majority of those eyes are paying attention to the wrong things. All right, they're looking at each other like, oh shit, like, well, you're a Republican. I can't fuck with you. You're a Democrat. I don't like you guys. Y'all are missing the bigger picture. Like, look at this. They already, man, and look, the vast majority of y'all are just not tracking. Look at what these Edomites is doing, man. These militias and these Edomites, wait till they pull up to the border, right? It's really gonna kick off. Check this out.
Okay, y'all, so I'm up here, man, with my homeboy, and what's your name, bro? Jeremy Bobby, man. Nice to meet you, bro. Alright, so check it out, Jeremy and what's your name? And Cody, look at what they drive. This is the guy right here. Okay, this man, what's your name, bro? David don't make you bring go Bobby, man. So anyway, these are my new homeboys. They get white privilege. They ride around with the goddamn. How many of you in this? They got a fully fucking automatic. They call them with minigun.
They're driving. They had a fucking convenience store, 7-Eleven or something. They pulled up with a Humvee with a mounted minigun on that shit. A minigun. This ain't your daddy's shotgun. This motherfucker shoots 1,000 rounds a minute, and they got it mounted. Let somebody get into it with them, and they feel like they're a threat on the street. They spraying the shit out of them. You can take down helicopters legitimately with this. Okay?
You got the M60 right over there.
I got it. Thank you. me and my homeboy.
Fucking M60.
Wow. Even the white people aren't Chris. Wow. Yeah. They ride, man. Hey, bro, I'm the Chris, man. I salute you, bro. I'm up here at my dad, man. I'm down up here with the phone stuff. And this is what's going on.
Yeah, these are these militia individuals, man. It said my duck off was about 100 miles south of Amarillo. These are all on the fringes of Texas. When this pop off, they're not the only ones like this. They really have that thought in their mind that they're going to step up against this government and win. It's going to be chaos, man. All right? There's going to be a bloodbath. And you think they just going to be using this against the military? Let that power go out. And they need food for their family. They going to start straight jacking. All right? They're going to pull up. They're going to do what they got to do to get what they need with all of this weaponry, with this hardware. Look at this, man. How the hell can you ride around like that? Or it's our constitutional right. You know, if you got some melanin in your skin and you so-called Negro Latinos ride around like that if you want to, you just might get hit with a drone strike in your neighborhood, man. Straight up. Okay? So I would not advise you. Okay? I would not advise you to buy into that, because one of the things that they will do is use this to justify putting a hole in your head and destroying you or your family. Okay? I'll read that again. Luke 11:17. But he, knowing the thoughts, this is the Lord, said unto them, every kingdom is divided against itself. Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and a house divided against a house faileth. I don't know what to tell you outside to look at this. One thing is for damn sure. You let that minigun hit your ass, it's going to divide you. Alright? You see this? You see this machine gun on the side? That shit hits you, it's going to divide you. Going to cut your ass in half. If Satan also be divided against himself, how shall his kingdom stand? Because ye say that I cast out devils through Beelzebub. But nonetheless, this is Satan's kingdom, man. That's why a lot of these things are allowed to push forward into the forefront with all of this wicked agendas, and everybody else gets caught up in it. We're the ones that's caught in the middle because all we're doing is waiting on the Lord. All right, but the vast amount of wicked individuals that are filling this place is vastly increasing. Henceforth, Egypt, Sodom and Egypt. All right. This is 2 Ezra 15:10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. This nigga interviewing, hats off to you, man, and all this. You know, he trying to stay cool with him because, you know, he's psyched out. You know, that type of shit how you shook, man. Or if he's fascinated, that's even worse. Hey, man, I got to kick with them dudes, man. Look, man, they're not your friends. When all hell break loose, the shit start getting for real, all they care about is themselves and their families. Alright? And when they divide and conquer, guess what happens? They're going after their families, and their whole mind is going to change. They're not going to be for the American people and for keeping the immigrants out. It's going to be about self-preservation. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and I will destroy all the land thereof. And one of them plagues is that thermonuclear destruction. Also with the spreading of this, you know, these viruses CDC is conventionally putting out. It says, let's go down to the 14th verse. It says, 2 Ezra 15:14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, For the sword, this is a sword. That Gatling gun, that's a sword. Thermonuclear missiles, that's a sword. All right, these destructive instruments. For the sword and their destruction draweth nay, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So, you know, hey, that sounds like a civil war to me, right? For there shall be sedition among men. So that portion of sedition, like let's say for instance, you got somebody saying, like, let's say talking about the truth or something that's truthful, right? That could be seen as sedition, like whistleblowers. That was seen as sedition because they're working up the people. They're inciting the people, not necessarily just a riot, but to stand up for themselves and to do research. They can say that is sedition because that's against the order that they've established in this government. So that's bringing a separation of the people and the laws that they've established, right? So they can say basically anything that goes against whatever they say is a form of sedition because it's causing the people to rise up, okay? Even this Bible, even the truth is a form of sedition. It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading of one another. They shall not regard the kings, their kings, nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So when it all really goes down, when that power goes out, boosh, people, hey, all of these cats are going to be worried about their family. All right? Fuck this border crossing, these migrants, man. We got to go back and check on our people and our loved ones and shit. And that's what that self-preservation kicks in, man. All right, so once these kings and princes or your aristocrats, your governors and your politicians and presidents and shit, hey, they're not going to regard them no more. It's going to be survival of the fittest. And a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Why? All right, let's just take another look at that. Because they're already sending in this hardware. What you thought? You thought, oh yeah, well once the government gets here, they're gonna have to deal with the people. You think they haven't prepared themselves for that? You think they haven't set up these different fail safes, okay, for these influxes? You got men from another country that are coming here looking for an opportunity to make money. The UN is already putting, or the government is already putting some of these migrants up in people's houses and paying them to hold those migrants in their houses. You think that they're regular migrants? No. You think they're regular immigrants? No. They're already soldiers. For the government to put up money, for them to be able to go into your house and live peaceably, and they're supposed to be an immigrant. They have an ulterior motive behind what they're doing. Like this. Look at that. All right, Texas begins transferring equipment to the border with Mexico. All right. This is already taking place. Look at that. You think they doing that because oh no, that's going towards, a lot of the times all you got to do, if you're familiar with the place, look at the direction it's going. Is it going towards the ocean or is it going towards a military base? They're sending these to the borders because they know what's about to take place, because this is their plan. All right, look at this. Look at all of these different countries. It says percent of people that believe Texas is doing the right thing by securing the border. So all of these nations right here, except for California, which I'm from, right? Look at these states, man. The majority of this is on deck with what's going on. And it says news, Florida has openly supported fighting for Texas. All right, so this is what's really happening, man. They already ready to get mobile. What about these states that have an issue with it, that's not fully for it? You see that divide, that division is already coming up. So if people gonna wish they can go into a city but can't, because the military is gonna set up shop and there's gonna be a divisive nature. It's gonna be checkpoints and borders that you have to go through. You're gonna have to have that RFID chip in your hand, your forehead, that digital currency. All of this is happening while they're silently behind the scenes setting up for this mark of the beast, man. It's MOTB. It says, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, and shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So all of them, they're coming up here to do this for this noble deed, all right? But understand, that noble deed is going to turn around overnight, and a lot of these individuals are going to turn into the demons they secretly are. You're going to start seeing them. Look at this, immigration, they can't even get along with each other. All right, I'm going to play a couple more videos, man. But yeah, so once you start seeing this internal strife going on amongst their own agencies, you know what's up.
We stay focused. We continue to do the job and the mission that we signed up for. We all signed up for. We all raised our hand.
You know what? And I'm gonna just put this one up in post-production because you can't really hear what they saying. So the sound on it is low. But nonetheless, that's the Border Patrol. They're at odds with each other. They're like, man, what the fuck is going on? Look, this separation, what you see over there, these third world countries and shit, South America, what have you, Ecuador, that's coming here. All of that shit is coming here. All right, all of it. All of it. This is what I wanted to play right here. All right, so check this out. This big Tucker Carlson, and I mess with Tucker Carlson to the extent that he has a lot of truth to what he says, right?
The administration declares that it plans to federalize the National Guard of the state of Texas, your National Guard. What will be your response?
Well, first, I'll be shocked. That would be a boneheaded move on his part, a total disaster. But for one, as you might imagine, we are prepared in the event that unlikely event does occur to make sure that we will be able to continue exactly what we've been doing over the past month, and that is building these barriers, and whether it be the Constitutional wire or other anti-crime border barriers, whatever we've been building, the Biden administration is now trying to attack us because of it. And we will continue to do exactly what we're doing to expand our denial of illegal entry into the state of Texas.
With state employees, I assume, not with National Guard, but can you envision a scenario in which you would put armed state employees on the border instead of the National Guard of Texas?
We do have other armed state employees on the border as we speak right this minute, and there's the Texas Department of Public Safety, as well as other law enforcement officers, as well as National Guard from other states. And you can be assured there will be more National Guard from other states and more law enforcement officers within the state of Texas and other states. And, Tucker, I just signed a new law in the state of Texas that will go into effect on March the 5th that authorizes any law enforcement officer in the state of Texas to be able to arrest anybody coming across the border illegally.
Have you spoken?
And this also reminds me of that movie Bushwick with Batista in it. You haven't seen, and this is also part of that social conditioning as well, because the whole movie was about basically Texas separating from the rest of the United States. And there was a conflict and they went to war. All right.
To the president or anyone from the Biden White House about what appears to be an imminent collision?
I have not, to be clear. I have spoken to the president about the border. I met him on a tarmac in El Paso and talked to him directly about what was going on. I handed him a letter that had in it immediate solutions he could take that would immediately secure the border without the need of any new law to be passed. Despite the fact that I handed him on altogether 8 different letters, he has refused to ever respond. My point in telling you that, we have laid down the precursor of what's called Article 4, Section 4 of the United States Constitution to show that we have been invaded and we have demanded support from the president to safeguard our state, and they have refused to do so 8 times, and that authorized me to declare an invasion under Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution to make sure that Texas is going to be able to use every tool in our arsenal to defend our state.
Yep. Going all the way back. What I read, now you're starting to see the similarities of Isaiah 19. And I would say Egyptian against Egyptian, and they shall stand and fight everyone against his brother and everyone against their neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. This is the fulfillment of it coming into fruition as we speak. And a spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the council thereof. What is the council? The government that they have set and established over you, and the leadership. And they shall seek to the idols, right? I mean, look, man. Idol can also be a person. The Lord knows they idolize the hell out of Trump. And then what about your local law enforcement, right? Check this out. Oh, the police, we'll just call the police. That's all. We'll just call the police and they'll come and they'll... No.
LAPD is now going through a police officer shortage. They're saying that nobody wants to be a police officer anymore, and the city of LA has now announced that there's less than 9,000 police officers currently in the force.
The LAPD has less than 9,000 officers. Documentation obtained by Fox 11 News shows that as of July 30th, the department only has 8,967 officers.
You heard that right, less than 9,000 police in the entire city of LA. But the LA population, 3.84 million. They're saying that it's just not cool to be a police officer anymore. But now what LAPD is doing is they're offering housing benefits to new recruits in order to lure them in.
It says the new program offers up to $24,000 for housing in the city of LA because rent is so expensive. Department will pay the subsidy for up to 2 years for any recruit who makes the grade.
And they're saying that they might even up the pay to 6 figures. Chat, let me know in the comments, would you become a...
Hell no. And then guess what? The same thing is the same way with the military. Nobody joining up because they know that this system is heavily full of shit. To be quite frank, Now what about the Hebrew Israelites, man? They're like a standing army, and they're marching around Barclay Center and shit, and then they're a standing army. No, this is 1 Samuel 15-23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. So anybody that really stands up for this truth, you're not gonna catch so-called camps or none of these real Israelite men out there trying to fight for this country on the front lines and for freedom and all of that. Nah. And why is that? Because anybody that knows this word, all right, that really stands for Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, that's not their mind state. That's not our mind state. Micah 7:2. The good man is perished out of the earth, and there is none upright among men. They all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man, his brother, with a net. That's coming back in style. Because trust and believe, when all hell break loose, that's the mind state of the people. Anarchy, which is just a lack of government. Listen, man, when that whole system is reset and they're reestablishing it, they're going to do it by force. And there's a lot of people that are going to perish, man. But in the midst of that, you got a lot of people that's gonna show their true colors in this chaos and the time of Jacob's trouble. And you're gonna have them running around showing everybody how they really feel. Trust and believe. There's a lot of racism that's gonna be on the table in them days, man. Alright? Even the scripture talk about that. It says that they may do evil with both hands earnestly. The prince asketh, and the judge asketh for a reward. And the great men, he uttereth his mischievous desire, so they wrap it up. So all it takes is men in high places to make shit move in a negative direction, especially with this government and democracy. This is what they push to the forefront. And they take people in high places, judges, and they ask for a bribe or a reward, and princes and people in high places. All right, and their mischievous desire is to bring in that ultimately that new world order and that new currency, that new digital currency. It says the best of them is as a briar, and the most upright is sharper than a thorn hedge. It says the day of thy watchman and thy visitation cometh now, shall be their perplexity. And that perplexity is confusion. All right, because the watchmen, people are supposed to be watching, and the visitation cometh, right? And thy visitation cometh now shall be their perplexity. All these people are going to be confused, and one of the things that's going to bring out their confusion is these UN troops that's sold amongst the people, man. All right, amongst these migrants, amongst these sleeper cells. All right, and it's going to bring paranoia, and it's going to really cause people to be at each other's throats. Trust ye not in a friend, and put ye not confidence in a God. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. For the son dishonoreth the father, and the daughter riseth up against her mother. Right? Don't get to telling everybody all your plans, and you start making preparations. Because the person next to you that love you and cherish you might not be there. A lot of these, I've seen households broken up because the wife was a Republican or the husband was a Republican and the wife was a Democrat. I've seen whole families break up because of just political nonsense, man. And you already see that now. The children are more dishonorable than anything right now. All right? It says, a man's enemies are the men of his own house. Not just the household that you live in, but your country, man. Okay? That you dwell in. Therefore, I will look. So this is our mind state. Real men in the Lord. Micah 7:7. Therefore, I will look unto Yahweh. I will wait for the Most High, for my salvation. My God will hear me. That's what we waiting for, our salvation. Not for civil wars and standing up, we the people and all of that shit. All of that shit goes out the window when the lights go out. And all that unity shit, it's going to be non-existent because it's going to be survival of the fittest. And the civil war is going to have the upper hand in the form of the government because they're on one accord. The people think they're on one accord, but when it starts turning into a situation where you got to figure out where your food and all this convenience and it's thrown out the window, people are going to show their true colors, and it's going to really start when that hunger kicks in, all right? Because a standing force is nothing without a constant supply of foods and goods. All right, so this hell is about to break loose. Wake your ass up. Because it's about to go down. Civil war's around the corner. That new world order's rolling in. Stay prayed up. Get your household in order and seek the Lord while you can, while he may be found. With that, I pray you were edified, man. Alright? Stay circumspect, pay attention, do your research, and until the next time, I bid you shalom.